Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 159 of Crunch Time with the N326 Duo. I'm your host today, Sam Godsey, and with me today, as always, is Tanner Dislin. Tanner, how are you feeling tonight?
Rejuvenated, Sam. I think we need a round of applause, everybody, because we have made it to the Big M. We've made it to March. I'm sure your timeline has been flooded with hype videos, with people saying, giving little hype speeches for the month. They're all deserved. This month absolutely rocks. And I mean, we've already have some mid-major tournaments starting now. What more can you say?
Yeah, absolutely. It the big dance is right around the corner. Some races kind of coming to end for regular season conference titles. Crazy college basketball weekend. That's where our focus is going to be coming down the stretch these next couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. But we talk about that and so much more on episode 159. But Tanner, let's kick it off as we always do. Who is your winner of the episode?
Yes, Sam. All of our focus is on basketball as it should be, but the NFL actually had a couple big moves over the weekend that we need to talk about. I think the bigger of the two we'll save for last. So to start, a big name kind of was the big domino to fall in the quarterback market is Matt Stafford. And you know what? I think the Rams are a winner for retaining him because that relationship, it seemed like it just needed to continue. And it's big that they're able to bring him back because, Sam, like obviously he has the Super Bowl championship with the Rams. Matt Stafford to me is comfortably a top five quarterback in the NFL. I do have him at 5 currently. There's an argument that could be made that he can be number 4. I think he's really freaking good, and not enough people talk about him. And you look at the Rams season, obviously when their 2 wide receivers were hurt, they got off to a really bad start. They're like 1-4, 1-5. Went on a crazy run to end the season, made it to the playoffs, lost to the eventual champions by 5, played them the toughest out of anybody, and had a chance to score a touchdown at the end of the game when Stafford threw an interception. So, they were one of the better teams in the NFL down the stretch. And after that really, really rough start, which I'm trying to get the specifics on right now as we speak, but really impressive stuff from the Rams down the stretch. So I think they just needed to keep Stafford, and they did. But yeah, looking at their schedule here, they started 1-4, and since then they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9-3 after starting 1-4.
It's not bad.
To go 10-7 and make the playoffs, and give the Eagles a run for their money with a chance to win at the end of the game. So seems like that relationship needed to continue, and it will. And the Rams, I think, are going to be really good again. And hopefully people can talk about just how damn good Matthew Stafford is. But the other winner, of course, has to be the big move, and that is the Commanders finally going out and well, I say finally, but going out and making a big move to help their young quarterback, and that's Deebo Samuel. That relationship went sour in San Francisco. There were some weight conversations, whether or not he was in shape, whether he was overweight, whatever. But look, he is so damn electric with the ball in his hands, and he's going to the Commanders, who, let's face it, I mean, Terry McLaurin's a beast, and Brian Robinson Jr. is pretty good, but they had a lack of playmakers on the offensive side of the ball other than their quarterback. Obviously, the rookie quarterback are able to go out and make some crazy moves, and this has to be a win for the Commanders, and they gave up, Sam, a 5th-round draft pick.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
And my take continues that if I was an NFL GM, I would never, ever, ever have any draft.
No.
A 5th-rounder for Deebo. I think it was when what's his name? Jalen Ramsey was traded to the Dolphins. That was like a 5th-rounder or 6th-rounder or something. I'd make those deals in a heartbeat, And,
Yeah.
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 I wouldn't have any. I wouldn't have any.
It's insane that what you can get for a solid solid playmaker It's just ridiculous. I totally agree. I would never have any draft picks.
Now, gotta hit you with an insult stat.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, the Commanders traded a 5th rounder for Debo. The Cowboys traded a 4th rounder for Jonathan Mingo.
Hell yeah. That's a good trade.
It's funny, but my pause there, why I didn't, I paused before Jonathan Mingo. It's because the article I saw, it said traded for Mingo, and I had to look up his first name because I didn't know.
You don't know ball.
But I do know he was on the Commanders. He was on the Panthers, traded to the Cowboys for a 4th rounder. Now Debo to the Commanders for a 5th rounder. That's tough. That's a tough one too.
It's all right.
But
I'm sure the Vikings have undersold some trades for sure.
Look at the Yannick Ngakoue trade from a few years ago. It was one of the dumbest trades I've ever seen. Traded like a 3rd rounder for defensive end who played like 4 games. It was so bad. But yeah, no, but it's yeah. I had to throw it out there.
Yeah, for sure. But for my winner, we talked about some mid-major conference tournaments already going on, and let's go around my hometown. Central Arkansas's own freshman Nehemiah Turner put up a hell of a stat line against Stetson. 37 points on 13 for 15 shooting and 11 boards. Now, this is that's impressive nonetheless, but he is the first freshman to record 35 plus points on 75 plus field goal percentage and 10 plus rebounds in a conference tournament game since at least 2004.
Wow.
Like, there has been so many I'm like shocked.
Yeah, it's surprising.
And Central Arkansas's own Nehemiah Turner locking it down. Unfortunately, Central Arkansas is absolutely trash. But
so Stetson.
Yeah.
Well, I got a quick side tangent. Stetson, their mascot, the Stetson Hatters.
Yeah.
Hatters is pretty good. That's got to be towards the top of. I mean, you have like some of your. Obviously, we did a Give Me 5 all those years ago of the mascots and all that stuff. But for at least a team that's like in a mid major and competes in Division 1, like that's got to be up there, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's unique for sure.
There are some good ones, like some good animal, like anteaters, like UC Irvine anteaters.
Yeah,
like, that's a good one.
Yeah,
but some of these animals, like for a non-animal, I feel like Hatters is. Oh, Austin P. Generals, I love that. Or Governors, I love that one too.
Yeah,
I love that one too. But yeah, I don't know. I just have to throw that out there. The Hatters is a damn good mascot.
They kind of have some impressive.
Jacob DeGrom,
Corey Kluber's from there.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
A couple other guys.
Some good pitchers. Huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out. I didn't know DeGrom. And of course, his personal catcher and 2-time Mets walk-off hero, Patrick Mazeika.
Yeah.
Is he listed on there?
No.
I was going to say. No, but he had like 1 year with the Mets. He was in their farm system forever. And that's just because he was friends with DeGrom. And
there you go.
Like personal bullpen catcher.
Yeah. But yeah, that's shout out.
Shout out the Hatters. Shout out the Hatters. And shout out
Nehemiah
that
Turner,
player.
Bro. Hoping. But Tanner, let's flip it on the other side of things. Who is your loser of the episode?
And this is, we're just beating this program down. And, I can't say I don't enjoy it. Nothing against the program. It's just really one player on the program that I really don't like. And that program is Kansas basketball. Now, this is 2 years in a row. We've said it so many times, 2 years in a row where they are preseason number 1. They are, have some of the best incoming transfer class. Obviously, 2 years ago, Hunter Dickinson, the guy we're talking about, who I really don't like. And then AJ Storr coming in this past year from Wisconsin. That man too. I mean, once a Badger, always a Badger. So I will always hate him. But they're having a really rough year again. It's another year where preseason ranked number one, falling out of the rankings. They lost on Saturday to Texas Tech at home, falling to 19-10 on the year and 10-8 in conference.
It's pretty good.
Which is obviously not up to Kansas's expectations. And the fans had it, and went way too far with some fans talking to some players. And you know how that goes with fans thinking they are invincible, and then nothing bad will happen, and they can talk to players however they want to because they're the ones who go to the games. They think that because they buy tickets, they can say whatever they want to the players, and it got so bad. We reached such a low point within that program, within the fan behavior, that Bill Self released a statement. Actually, felt like he had to release a statement. I'm going to read the whole thing. It's somewhat lengthy, but it's 3 paragraphs. But here we go. The game today was a very good college basketball game. We played a very good team, and we got beat. We had some individuals have exceptional individual games, and we had some maybe not play up to the standard they've set for themselves. But everyone on our team, coaches included, myself more than anyone, had opportunities to impact the game. A play here or a play there, we could have been the difference in the game over the course of 40 minutes. Texas Tech just made more plays than we did. We competed, we tried, we came up short, and I'm proud of their efforts, and I'm also proud of the preparation to be ready for the game. We haven't had the overall year that we'd hoped for ourselves, nor the year that many other people had expected. But it isn't from a lack of caring. I can do a lot of things better. We all could do a lot of things better. But I'll roll with these guys every day and be proud of it. Any criticism about the team should be directed at me. I'm the head coach. I'm looking forward to seeing how we bounce back against a terrific Houston team on Monday, which they are playing tonight. Could get ugly for Kansas. Then after the game, I'll look forward to how we respond to a terrific Arizona team on Saturday. But this is the most important time of the season, and this is the time that we need to be better. We also need to be focused on basketball and not things being said outside of basketball that have absolutely zero merit. It's tough. It's tough times in Kansas.
Yeah. Obviously never condone what the fans said to Zeke Mayo was a player that was getting a lot of hate on the socials, but this is so unnecessary. The biggest loser. Just say we suck. Save yourself some time.
Or
this is pathetic.
Or spend much more of the statement being like directly calling out fan behavior, like don't talk to our players. Like from the statement I just read, I feel like maybe you could gather that okay, fans are being a little unruly, but nowhere in there do you get this fan is directly reaching out to players and threatening them and telling them they suck and harassing them. You just released a statement saying we suck.
Yeah. Wild.
Like this was bad. This was really bad in the state of Kansas right now. And obviously there's levels to this, right? For Iowa, we'd love to be 19-10, 10-8 in conference and be comfortable in the tournament. Obviously that's not going to happen. We suck. We truly suck. They suck for Kansas.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They're sitting at a 6 seed right now in the latest bracketology. I want to say I heard it's I don't remember the exact amount of years, but it's been a long ass time since they haven't been a top in a 4 seed or higher, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, a 6 seed being Kansas, never a good look. I mean, you're in the same company as St. Mary's, Marquette, and UCLA. As Kansas, as of late, definitely not company you're used to being with, but yeah, it's been a very rough year for Kansas, and I personally love this season.
Yeah, it's really not the worst thing in the world. And yeah, it's truly because of Hunter Dickinson. I just hate his guts so much.
Yeah, absolutely. But for my winner, we're going to go on to the gridiron, Tanner.
Loser.
For my loser. Did I say winner?
You did.
I did that last episode. Come on. for my loser of the episode, I'm going to go to On the Gridiron. And it's going to be about a show that a lot of people like, you and me not included in that group, and that is Hardknocks, Tanner. Oh. Now, the reason I'm bringing them up is because they have taken a complete left turn off the road, just off the tracks, and they are doing North Carolina. In the reasoning, they could not find a NFL team to participate.
It's a fall from grace. Now, they should be thanking their lucky stars that Bill Belichick went
to
North Carolina. Because if they didn't, imagine if they just picked because if they had to dip into college, North Carolina was the obvious choice with Bill Belichick. If that didn't happen, where on earth do you look to? Do you look to like Ohio State, the defending champion? They'd probably say no.
Yeah,
it's crazy that they should be thanking their lucky stars that the Bill Belichick thing happened.
I'm surprised Belichick said yes.
I am too.
Yeah, I don't know how
thing that he never let it with the Patriots because he would just.
I don't know how much of a say he had, too.
Or was it Robert Kraft who's always just like no?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it's both of them. I'm talking about the AD of UNC. I mean, UNC's.
They need to jump on this opportunity to market their new slam dunk head coaching hire.
I don't think it's gonna work out, but Bill Belichick's the name, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And it'll put asses in seats. So I guess. But Tanner, you ready to talk some college ball, man?
Well, real quick, I do just want to say that the New York Football Giants and their front office and their decision making have done irreparable damage to Hardknocks and their ability to get inside an NFL locker room. I feel just because, look, the Giants organization, they butchered that. They butchered that wholeheartedly. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The quotes. I'm going to have a tough time sleeping if Saquon goes to the Eagles. He does. He has a career year. They win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No coming back from that. None whatsoever. I do somewhat feel bad for Giants fans because there's the Giants absolutely should not have signed Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley on the Giants takes it from a 3-win team to a 4-win team. That means nothing. But they butchered it, and that sucks. And but yeah, I don't know who's going to be saying yes to Hard Knocks in the future when your franchise basically imploded because of the quotes, because of how you handled the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be tough. It might be the last year of Hard Knocks, honestly.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. Personally, it would not change my life.
Me neither. I do not watch Hard Knocks. Which is weird. Because I really like the receiver show. I like the behind the scenes stuff. I like the all access. NFL teams always like on their YouTube when after a win they'll put out mic'd up for the game. I always watch those. I always watch the Vikings ones. I love them. Hard Knocks never got into it.
Yeah,
do it. Maybe because it's comes out in the summer, and that by that time I'm locked in on baseball, and baseball is a sport I care about.
Yeah.
So while others maybe don't, and they can jump to Hard Knocks. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a show that I would like, and I just don't.
Yeah. Absolutely. But now, are you ready to?
Now I'm ready to talk some ball. Yeah.
Let's talk about it, Tanner. A lot of things coming down to the wire here, Tanner. Let's kick it off on Tuesday with two major upsets, Tanner. We had Florida, who was ranked number 3 at the time, losing to Georgia, 88-83. Iowa State lost to Oklahoma State, one of the worst in Altsberger's tenure there, 68-74. I mean, coming down the stretch, these are two inexcusable losses. Georgia is kind of on that bubble right now. I think when I checked a couple hours ago, they were the last team in or right on that bubble. But talk to me about these two games. How inexcusable? Which loss is worse?
It's tough because I think Florida has less excuses because Iowa State had the injuries.
Yeah,
Georgia's a better team than Oklahoma State, and Florida plays in the better conference, so they're more likely to excuse, a conference slip up. I mean, obviously the SEC is just a bloodbath every night. So I think all of that. I know Iowa State's players was out. You still got to win that game.
Yeah.
They have the players to win that game. They should have won that game. So I think Iowa State is the worst loss there. Georgia just shot the shit out of the ball.
Yeah.
They shot 55% from three, and they jumped out to a huge lead. They blitzed them in the first half. They're up 16 at half. Florida tried to fight back, but couldn't. And Georgia hung on. So that game, it was just, Georgia blitzed them, hot start, and Florida wasn't able to recover. Florida left a lot of meat on the bone in the free throw line. Also, only shooting 62% on almost 30 attempts.
Yeah.
Can't be doing that in the tournament, but yeah, I think Iowa State, while acknowledging the absence of their top scorers, that's still the game you should win. Shooting 40% for the game, that's just not going to cut it. And simply put, Oklahoma State was not much better. Iowa State shot 41.4%. Oklahoma State 42.4%.
Yeah.
So it's not like Oklahoma State just went out and rained threes and they caught hot because obviously in basketball it doesn't matter how good you are. If you catch fire, you're probably going to lose that game. You make shots, you're going to lose. That's why the March is so fun. That's not what happened in this game. Iowa State just simply put did not play well enough to win.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma State was able to do it. So
yeah, absolutely. Bama that night also continued their onslaught of just playing all offense, no defense. Beat Mississippi State 111-73. Just an absolute ass kicking there. But moving on to Wednesday, we had Vandy pulling out upset of A&M, one of the hottest teams down the stretch going into the SEC tournament, beat them 86-84. And then, of course, the Michigan State game winner over Maryland 58-55. People say March Madness starts when the tournament starts here, but as we continue to talk about these games, it's down the stretch is just as fun to watch than the tournament. I mean, we saw so many upsets, so many just
conference games that matter.
Games down the stretch. It's
teams playing for their lives. They need to boost their resume. They need to put themselves in the best position possible in the conference tournaments. Yeah, this matters. These games really matter. I'm starting my list of teams I am not buying into March. Teams I'm selling in March, and I've got the first name for you, one you mentioned. I'm going to pretend to write him here. Team number 1, Texas A&M. I'm selling them in March. I don't think they're for real. I just think a conference that has so many heavy hitters. I remember this happened with the Big Ten a while ago, where they just beat the crap out of each other in the regular season. Obviously, the Big Ten a conference known for maybe not showing up in March, but then literally in March they just all lost. And SEC, I don't think it's going to be to that extent because Auburn, because Florida, because Bama are so good. But I do think there will be a mass exodus of that middle of the pack in the SEC. And Texas A&M is a team that I'm putting on there.
Yeah,
so I'm not buying Texas A&M. Obviously, matchups are everything. I'm interested to see where they match up, but they're a prime upset candidate for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the other game, Michigan State came down the stretch, 2 of the best teams in the Big Ten. This Michigan State team is getting hot at the perfect time. Just how they're playing down the stretch behind the back of Jace Richardson. I talked a little bit about him last episode. He's an absolute stud. Didn't perform amazing this game, but still finished with 15 points, 8 rebounds. Michigan State down the stretch is looking really good. It's going to be really interesting if they can keep this going into the Big Ten tournament, because they could honestly, Tanner, fight for as an 8 right now. I don't know. I haven't looked at the newest rankings I dropped today. but where they're sitting right now, they could honestly be vying for a 1 seed right now, which is absolutely absurd. But nonetheless, they are playing freaking ball right now.
Yeah, Michigan State jumped up to 7. So
7.
They jumped up a spot. But yeah, this game first off was awesome. We talked about how this was a big week for Michigan State. Spoiler alert, they delivered. They added a couple big time wins to their resume. And I like this team a lot, Sam. I like this team a lot because they can beat you in so many ways. And it's a slightly different formula, I think, than when I normally think of Michigan State. When I think of Michigan State, I just think of athletes upon athletes. A team that's going to score a lot of points, get up and down the floor, good guard play, your Cassius Winstons. And what I like about this team, they're deep. They're so deep.
Yeah.
Like this game against Maryland, they won this game with exactly one player in double digits.
Yeah.
They won this game on the road, going 10 deep, all with only one of those 10 playing less than 10 minutes. 9 of those 10 played over 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They funneled bodies in, and they won a game where they scored 58. Their defense was great. Maryland's a team that can score. Held them to 55. I like this Michigan State team a lot, man. And obviously, we do need to talk about the Trey Holloman shot, which was pretty awesome.
That was absolutely insane. Unfortunately, it got topped on Saturday, but it was an absolute buzzer beater. And like I said, this is why March is so awesome, even before the big dance.
And then you put them to their perfect foil, honestly, is Maryland, because they're starting 5. They can compete with anyone.
Yeah.
Right? They can compete with anyone. They only went 8 deep. One of those 8 played 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So really they went 7 deep. And 4 of their starters played over 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Played over 3/4. Like, gotta ride your dogs. I get that. And, in March, it's who has the group of 5 players that play the best. Obviously depth is important. But in March, they're going to be sticking with their guns a lot, and that starting 5 can compete with anybody.
Absolutely, yeah. So that Wednesday, crazy buzzer beater, and then we get to Saturday, Tanner. It was matchups galore, Tanner. Auburn absolutely throttled Kentucky 94-78. It was so bad. ESPN had technical difficulties and just never returned to the game.
They're just those dudes, man. Just those dudes.
And Janai Broom played like shit.
Yeah.
I think I was watching it. I think 15 minutes left in the game. He hit his first shot. Just this team is so freaking good. And it's not like a story of Duke that the ACC's down. They haven't really played anybody. Auburn is a complete opposite.
Their conference is ridiculous, and they've from front to, or from beginning to end, they've just been the best team.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane, and I'm pretty sure they even had like a good non-con even. Like,
yeah, I mean they beat Iowa State in that tournament.
So they played Houston. They played UNC, who at the time no one knew would be ass. Iowa State, Memphis. They did lose to Duke, but nonetheless.
What was the score of that game?
84-78. So, okay. And then they played Purdue. That's part of their non-con.
Yeah.
Obviously, some Georgia State's Monmouth thrown in there, but like
non-con right there, yeah.
They are definitely a scary team for sure. Maryland, we just talked about them, struggled against Penn State, only squeaked a win out by 4 there. Texas Tech, we talked about this game, beat Kansas. Missouri got beat by Vandy, who is, like I said, one of the hottest teams in college basketball down the stretch, coming off a victory over Texas A&M and Missouri. They could be some spoilers in that SEC tournament. And then Texas A&M takes another loss. Florida bounces back 89-70 in an absolute ass whooping. And then Arizona gets throttled by Iowa State with a huge bounce back game for the Cyclones, 84-67. But talk to me about this crazy Saturday, man.
I'm adding teams. I'm selling. Now, some of them are obvious. Like, obviously, I'm not buying Arizona. I think everyone knows it's not that good, right? They're just not that good. So I'm selling Arizona. I don't think they got much to them. I'm selling another team. I'm selling Marquette. I don't think they got much to them either. They did win, talk about this in a win. Another SEC team, that middle of the pack that I'm lumping in with Texas A&M is Missouri. Lost to Vandy. I'm not buying Missouri. And I got one more team that I don't think will make the Sweet 16.
Who's that?
And if they do make the Sweet 16, I certainly don't think they're making the Elite Eight. Coming off a big win, however, that's Tennessee. I'm not buying Tennessee.
Why is that?
I don't think they have the offense.
I totally agree.
They are a prime candidate to look good in their first game, and then their second game play a 6-7 seed that can get hot, and Arizona and Tennessee just doesn't score.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that game, which ended in one of the craziest buzzer beaters.
Which is why it sounds weird.
They beat Bama 79-76. Forgot to mention that, but yeah.
Which they're very talented, and they have the talent. They should make the Sweet 16, and that take obviously can very well blow up my face. But if there's a top flight team, because your Texas A&Ms, your Missouris, they'll probably be 3s or 4s. There's a top possible 1 or 2 seed that I'm not buying. It's Tennessee. I just don't think they have the offense. However, they played a great game and got a huge win over Alabama.
Yeah, absolutely. Missouri right now in the latest bracketology is a 5 seed. Mississippi State is one of those middle of the pack 7 seed. It's gonna be very interesting. It's been crazy. A team I'm not really buying here, Tanner, also from the SEC. I don't trust Kentucky.
Yeah.
I'm not there. They are facing
some
injury issues down the stretch, which is unfortunate. But Mark Pope and the Wildcats just have not been playing good. There's a stretch on Saturday where they had 7 straight turnovers.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not recipe for success.
Yeah, I'm not buying Kentucky.
I'm not buying Kentucky. But this, like you said, this could all be thrown in our face. I'm still on the edge about Alabama, dude. I just don't trust them to just score 111 every game.
I'm kind of Alabama. I know that formula doesn't usually work, but it's just I really like Marcus Sears. I saw them kind of do it last year, go to the Final Four, and I just think this team's better. And the draw could be different, obviously. I think they were the beneficiary of some upsets, and
they do have so right now they're a 1 seed in the Midwest region. Their 2 seed is Michigan State. A&M is 3. Arizona as a 4 seed.
Yeah, like I think Texas
5
A&M,
Maryland. Like that's
Texas
a pretty
A&M,
good
Texas A&M, Arizona, Maryland as the 3, 4, 5. I like Michigan State's tough. I just talked about how I like that team going into March. Another team that I'm buying. Obviously, I'm buying Auburn. Obviously, I'm buying Duke. I am buying Florida. I think Florida's really good. They did have the slip up against Georgia. I'm not worried about Florida. I think they're really good. Team that I'm buying, Sam. Give me St. John's. I know the shooting is an issue, but you know what? I said, we talked about it. The whole Rick Pitino has no issues leading a team that can't shoot. But damn it, the minute Rick Pitino walked out in that white suit, I was like, this team's gonna freaking win it all.
Yeah,
because Rick Pitino is that dude. And I don't know. It just feels right. Rick Pitino coaching in the Big East. Wearing that white suit, it just feels right. And that St. John's team is freaking good, man.
Yeah, dude. That team is a problem to be reckoned with, obviously. little concern on the offensive end, but that hasn't affected them yet. So why not? They did
just shooting.
they did clinch the Big East regular season championship with a win over Seton Hall. A little down year for the Big East, but still impressive nonetheless. I think a team that's getting massively overlooked here, Tanner, is Houston, man. They are right up there. They're ranked 3 right now. I think they are getting overlooked, and I think it's because of how they play, Tanner. They like to muck it up and be ugly, and that's the Kelvin Sampson way. And
now I wonder how much of that is because of how the tournament went last year.
Yeah.
When they started dropping like flies. Yeah. I remember everyone started getting hurt.
Think of who was it Breyer that got hurt?
Yeah, I think it was. But like it was literally mid-game. We're watching someone I can't remember because their guards are the best in the nation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I feel like one of them got hurt, and then during the game the other got hurt, and it was just like this is
Sheed. Jamal Sheed was a guy.
Jamal Shed, I think it's pronounced Shed.
Is it? I don't
know. Clearly we know ball.
But yeah, dude, that team, I think they kind of have already. Is it safe to say they locked? I think there's for sure 2 locks. No matter what happens, the rest of as a 1 seed, it's Auburn, Duke.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna throw Houston in there.
As long as they don't collapse, which they have. So they have Kansas tonight.
I don't think they're losing that game.
Then their last game is against Baylor.
I don't think they're losing that.
I think if they lose to Kansas, lose to Baylor, and then lose somewhat early, they're probably because I think honestly, if they lose one of these two and they lose somewhat early, they're probably still a 1 seed.
Yeah,
I think they have to lose both to Kansas, both to Kansas and Baylor, and then lose early in the Big 12 to fall out of the 1 seed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's best time of the year, man. It's been a blast. Just looking at the conference where everything stands as of Monday before tip-offs. Duke has kind of sealed the regular season. You'd think it'd be a bigger gap, but it's really not. Clemson just 1 game behind. Big 12's kind of wrapped up. Excuse me. Houston 17-1 in conference, which is crazy. I mentioned St. John's has clinched a Big
17-2 in conference.
Yeah, absolutely. The Big Ten was interesting coming into last week. We mentioned Michigan State is destined, but they have a very tough Maryland and then Wisconsin on Sunday. 2 dubs. Can't ask for something better. It looks like Izzo has his boys ready. And the thing about Michigan State is I still don't think they're that good as a 2 seed. Let me rephrase. I don't think they're extremely talented.
Are you not buying them? Or so if you had to say yes or no.
I'm not buying them.
You're not buying them?
I'm not buying them.
All right.
And I just don't think this team is as talented as years past. And Izzo doesn't have the greatest track record in March Madness, but it's just the Big Ten is so interesting.
For me, it's funny because we're talking about this Wisconsin game, dude. They flipped jerseys. Yeah. Michigan State is Wisconsin. Slow the game down, play defense.
Mm-hmm.
And Wisconsin is the team with the talent.
Yeah.
The team that shoots a ton of threes, the team that scores a ton of points. I obviously remember that game against Iowa. They had like 118, early in the year. Like I think these teams. I mean, this is all within because we're still talking about Michigan State and Wisconsin here. So like, Michigan State is less talented than they normally are.
Yeah.
it's still Michigan State. They're gonna have a ton of athletes,
Yeah.
ton of talent. And Wisconsin is just a lot more. They're a lot more fast paced than they normally are. You know, your old Bo Ryans, where you know you have Frank Kaminsky and
Sam Decker,
who just slow the game way down. That's
Yeah.
not how this Wisconsin team plays. They get up and down. They
that.
let the ball fly. They shoot a ton. They make a ton.
Yeah, I mean, personally, if I had to pick a team to make a deep run, I think I am looking at this Wisconsin
Yeah,
team.
it's funny. I'm also buying Wisconsin.
I'm buying.
I want to throw up saying it, but I am buying Wisconsin.
I mean,
too. Even before, remember, like last week we were talking about the Big Ten. First team I went to, I think it's the best team in the Big Ten. I said Wisconsin.
Yeah,
they were like, "Oh, Michigan State," which I complete oversight on my part to not mention Michigan State.
Yeah,
but I like Wisconsin.
I mean, Tanji and Blackwell. That's the thing about Michigan State. They're not a very. They rely a lot on Jace Richardson to score, and I mean, it's worked out so far, but who knows when you got to do it so many games in a row.
I mean, like 71, 58, 75, 79, 67, 86. So you got to go back to the beginning of February, the last time Michigan State scored over 80
Jesus,
in a game.
That's unheard of.
And then there are 2 games before that 86. 2 games before that, 61, 64.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
the team just doesn't score a lot, and it's not what we're used to. But again, obviously, we do have to mention the man at the top, Tom Izzo. He's maybe done this a time or two.
Yeah, just maybe. But yeah, the Big Ten, it has been crazy, definitely top heavy. I will say that, but it has been a fun story to watch unfold. I think Michigan State, even though I don't think they're as talented as they have been in years past, is the I just can't say that. But yeah, dude, it's just gonna be a crazy Big Ten tournament. See how it pans out, and then of course the SEC, the absolute gauntlet that has been Auburn has separated themselves as the best team. Gonna be that 1 seed, unless some crazy happens. But I'm pretty sure. No, Auburn won the regular season.
They have, yes.
So this March Madness is going to be insane. But Tanner,
2 weeks to conference championships. That's right? Right? Not this week, but next week.
So, well, there's already conference tournament started.
Sorry,
but
yeah,
the major
majors.
ones.
Because isn't this week?
This is the last week,
right? This
regular
season is the women's tournament. I think the women's Big Ten tournament is this week, and a bunch of other tournaments. And then the last week of regular season. Then next week is when conference championships start.
Yeah. So first round of Big Ten's Wednesday, March 12th. So yeah.
It's a week from. By the time this comes out, it'll be a week from yesterday.
Yep. So yeah, dude. Now the question I have for you, Tanner, as we get inch closer and closer to the bracket reveal, I'm gonna be asking this: if you place a bet, would you bet Auburn and Duke or Duke to win the whole thing, or are you taking the field?
I think I'm taking Auburn or Duke. And you know why? And the team I'm more confident in is probably Duke.
Really?
It's tough. It sucks because this whole time, like, Auburn's the best team. They're so good. I do think they're so good. For some reason, this Duke team just has.
And that's what scares the shit out of me, though. That's what scares the shit. I'm so confident they are the best team. This would be the year we see another Mercer, Lehigh.
That's it.
That's the scary shit.
That's what I love so much about the more confident you are in something, the more scared you are to bet it. The more scared you are to proclaim that take.
Yeah.
Like I spoiler alert, if I had to bet it, obviously, as I just said, if I had to bet on a single team to win right now, I'm picking Duke. and that's probably who I'll have winning in my bracket, at least as of now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like the more confident you are, the more scared you are. It's just
Yeah.
how it is. And
Yeah. I think I'm also taking I mean, both of those teams have given me no reason to go against that.
but
So
it's March. I mean,
but it's
you
March.
remember the like undefeated Gonzaga team that was like the best team ever assembled, and then they rolled into the championship game, and then they played Baylor and got their
Yeah.
face kicked in.
Or Kentucky, their undefeated season,
Yeah,
multiple NBA prospects, they don't do anything.
yeah.
It's just
The Duke team that was
Zion, RJ,
yeah.
and
They lose. They
Cam
almost
Reddish.
lose to UCF. Lose to Michigan State.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, like we said, the more confident you are, the more scared you are.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's inching closer and closer. We're going to have the conference tournaments kicking off, like Tanner said. We'll be diving into those next week, seeing what we like in each of the big conferences, of course. But Tanner, you ready for a little this or
Of
that?
course.
All right, let's kick it off. We'll start with this one first, Tanner. This or that. ESPN 30 for 30 or Netflix Untold?
Wow, I like this. Um, I don't think anything's beating the old 30 for 30s.
Oh,
If you
100%.
had to make this tomorrow, I'm going Netflix Untold. But it's really hard to not think of the old 30 for 30s. What if I told you?
Yeah.
But to make if I had like if there's a new 30 for 30 or a new Untold coming out this month, I'm probably more excited for the Untold.
Yep. I'm with you there. I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time I watched the 30 for 30. Untold has kind of taken over.
Yeah.
Um, I mean,
Like the last one that I can like confidently remember, like somewhat was like that Christian Leitner one. I mean,
yeah,
at this point, that's what 6 years old, more than
at
that.
least. At least, yeah.
So
But
yeah,
like the Untold has been on a tear. I mean, Jai Menzel, the ref bet. I don't even remember what
yeah,
that one was called. Malice at the Palace, of
yep.
course. So many
Manti
good
Te'o,
ones.
right?
Yeah, Monty Teo. They did one on Jake Paul, which was weird.
Mm.
But yeah, the Untold has been killing it, so I'm gonna go Untold as well. Next one, Tanner. Zion at Duke or Anthony Davis at Kentucky?
Hmm. I'm going AD at Kentucky. I think he was just like Zion was so because he had the dunks, he had the block shots where he was like 40 inches off, with
Yeah,
the crazy vert. And he had, obviously he was huge. He was just an absolute like he was a you just couldn't stop him. He
yeah,
was just a barrel rolling through the paint. AD though, man. I think AD had the if I'm not mistaken, AD had the better stats. Just when I think about them and
yeah,
their college, I think AD had the better stats. Do you think? I mean, obviously the NBA careers, we now have evidence of. I still think AD is just overall the better player. So I'm going AD in Kentucky, and I think their team had more success with AD.
yeah. I think I am also. It's closer than people think. I would now the general public. I don't know which way they would lean. I think Zion just because of recency bias. But I just remember Anthony Davis like averaging like 5 blocks in college and just absolutely dominating. I mean, he was taking I I feel like Zion, it was never like Zion just gonna take over this game. And I feel like Anthony Davis it was. So I'm gonna go AD at Kentucky. But Tanner, you got some for us? Doing some stats research?
Yeah, and I fear I may have been way. I was so wrong about this. Zion's stats were way better. I can't believe that. I mean, I do remember. Like I remember being. Do you know how many points do you think Anthony Davis averaged in
17.
college? 14.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. And you know how many points Zion averaged?
How many?
22.6.
Interesting.
That's very surprising to me.
Did they show a game different, like how many games they played though?
Zion played 33 games. Anthony Davis played 40 games.
Okay, but still, with that big of a difference, you can't really
Wow.
pick it.
Yeah. I mean,
But I
it's
mean,
crazy
I
because
feel
I
like
just like literally, because we didn't look at these beforehand and, want to give the raw, what we're feeling when it comes through. I honestly, like in my mind, honestly thought AD was like had better stats. That's crazy.
I think that just shows you how dominant he might not have had the stats, but you remember him just being a
Yeah.
force on the court. So, and I just did not get that. Now it might be because Zion was playing with two other lottery picks, but I'm pretty sure AD was too.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. That's that.
but yeah,
That's that difference surprises me, but I'm still.
oh yeah, dude. He was a
He
freaking
was,
beast.
yeah, he was something different.
But next one here, Tanner, comes from the same game, this or that. The Kris Jenkins game winner or the Marcus Paige double clutch three.
Okay. I mean, it's got to be the game winner. I mean, what a freaking championship.
I disagree, dude. If we're just taking shot for shot, dude, Marcus Paige might have one of the greatest makes in college basketball. It just got overlooked by Kris Jenkins.
The one that won the game. Yeah.
But yeah,
it was bonkers. The contortion, the
for sure,
distortion. I mean, we all thought the same. Like, there's no way. Like when we're like, "What the hell are you? No way that went.
No way."
Like mid talking about what the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
it just goes in.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was nuts. But I got to go with the game winner, the one that won the championship
for sure. Next one here we have some announcers, this or that. Mike Breen's or Bill Raftery. What you got?
This is another really tough one. I don't because obviously there's a difference in product, and I very much lean towards one side, but I don't think it's beating Bang. Bang is just so good, and like Onions, like it's part of its charm is that it's so bizarre.
Yeah,
but Bang is so good. Like, and then the possibility of a double Bang.
Yeah.
NBA is obviously said it. NBA is not as good as college basketball, but the bang call is so good. So I'm gonna.
But is it overused?
Maybe. I mean, also like probably, but we mentioned that we haven't really watched a ton of NBA this year.
Yeah.
So like I haven't heard it in a while. So like when the playoffs come and I start hearing him again, like it's fresh to me.
True. I think this is a little biased because I am a huge college. I'm going Onions,
but I guess also Mike Breen is the next guy. So like original biased. Bangs. I think of like the Carmelo Anthony against the Bulls.
Yeah,
a couple. I was like, oh my gosh, it was awesome.
Yeah,
I think of Dante DiVincenzo this past playoff against the 76ers, and obviously the first Steph Curry double bang. Yeah, no, I think I'm going Bang, but yeah, this one was tough. This one was the toughest one so far.
Yeah. I think this one might be a little tougher, Tanner, for you at least.
Hit me.
This or that. A half-court buzzer beater or a walk-off home run.
Oh, my God. They both have to be the best feeling ever, right?
For sure. I'm not even a baseball guy, but a walk-off home run is like the coolest thing.
Because I have hit a home run before, and I know that is like the best feeling ever. And I hit a walk-off single once, and like that was also the best feeling ever. Now, like combining them, but like I've never had like a true buzzer beater.
Yeah,
where like, the it's at zero while the ball's in the air and everyone's just waiting. Like, I think I've hit like a shot where it's like 2 seconds left to take the lead, which is like obviously cool and it feels great. But I've never hit like there's no way it feels better. Like the half court buzzer beater with the ball in the air while it clocks at zeros. Everyone's like watching the ball. I just think the frame of reference. I know what it's like to hit a home run. I know what it's like to hit a walk-off single. Putting those together has to be the best feeling in the world. I'm going to go with the home run.
Yeah.
It is. Bat flip it too. And just like the trot around the bases while everyone's going crazy. But also,
like Jalen Suggs game winner we got on the table, dude.
No, that's so freaking cool. Oh my God. Why'd you do this to me? This is so tough.
Even as a non-baseball guy,
this is so tough. Oh. That's really tough. I still think I'm gonna stick with the walk-off home run, but my God. This is like 1A, 1B of the best feeling in the world. It's gotta be, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna go half-court buzzer beater just to be different, but
that's so tough.
Yeah, it's close. It's close.
Oh.
For sure. Locked in? Walkoff?
Yeah, I'm going.
All right.
I can't think. I'm gonna think about this all week now. Like, damn, that's really tough.
Yeah, it is, man. But that wraps up this or that. You got anything more to talk about on this episode, Tanner? Or are we ready to wrap this thing up?
I'm ready to wrap it up. I'm very curious as to what the people say about a home, the walk-off home run, the half-court buzzer beater.
Yeah,
that's gonna bother the heck out of me.
We'll be posting it on social, so make sure to vote. Instagram, Twitter.
I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night in like a cold sweat, just being like,
home run,
buzzer beater, just like having nightmares.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is gonna wrap it up for episode 159 of Crunch Time with the N3260. Talked about a lot of college basketball, threw in some NFL in there, and of course wrapped up with our newest segment, This or That. You can follow the podcast on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at crunchtime_pod. And you can like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, Crunch Time with the N3260. Like I said, we're going to be posting the This or That. So make sure you vote on all socials. But the clock has run out on this episode, but we'll see you on the next one on Crunch Time.
I'll see you.